Hello again. We're just putting another video out on these shoe modifications. We did this square toe on this shoe. It's just roughed in. We haven't polished it up and finished it up at all, but you can see the fit on the square toe. And when I flip it over, we're going to put the extended heels on it today. You can see what I have for length and fit. So I'm probably got about a ½ inch, and we need well, that's on that other page. We need I believe it's 3/4 of an inch for the length that we want beyond the terminal bearing point on the pattern, and you can see I'm just a little bit short. So I wouldn't recommend for you necessarily to do this. This is a Delta Kager size 3, and they run a little smaller than a front or hind pattern. Well, they're probably pretty close to a hind pattern. They're a little smaller than a front pattern. But if you go with a different a front or hind pattern that has, you can come a little closer. So you don't need to extend. I'm going to have to lengthen this shoe out a little bit. Find shoes that have a pretty round heel check in them. That's one thing about kick shoes, is they're a little rounder in the heel check, so that it doesn't look pinched when you put modifications in the heel, like a trailer or extended heels. They tend to get docked for pinching the stock. So I'll show you that hemming and fullering. It isn't necessarily part of this modification, but we're going to do it on this shoe just to gain a little bit more length. I guess with that, we'll take a heat on this shoe and we'll get started with it. We're going to hem the width of the section down a little bit, because your length comes from the hemming. And then the fullering brings your width back to its original dimension. Put a hard stop in it. I think that will kind of work out a little better for me. I don't want to run all the way off the end. I'm going to start at the front here and go all the way through the fullering, because it got pinched just a little bit in that toe from when we built that square toe. I don't need to kill it. I won't bother re-stamping those nail holes until we're done. And then I'll do that other side, and we'll come back and build the square heels, the extended heels. I'll work this shape up a little bit better. I'm going to show you how I mark that, where that heel should begin. I've fullered and hemmed and fullered to extend that length. You take a look here, you can see what I've got for length now. We want what 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch. So 7/8 would be perfect. And this caliper is set at 3/4 of an inch, so I am right there. I could use a little bit more, and we could flatten and hem this whole shoe, run the whole shoe and gain a little bit more length. We'll see how it comes out. But now, where I'm going to begin that extended heel is going to be just forward of the terminal bearing of that foot. So I'm gonna make a mark right here, just a little witness mark, and take a heat, and that's where I will put it on the anvil. I have a little bit of a soft edge right here. You don't want to do it on a real sharp edge, so that you end up with a undercut in your shoe. It'll look a lot cleaner if you do it on a little softer edge. Okay, I'll take another heat and we'll come back. And one thing I want to say too, that by fullering that, this shoe does have a little bit more of a heel check in it than I would like for this modification. But by fullering that heel all the way to the end, it kind of made that heel a lot rounder than it really originally was. And they only make this shoe into up to a size 3. So I think Con is the only one that really makes a kegger in a size 4. I've never used it, so I don't know how their sizing runs as compared to a Delta, but maybe worth taking a look at that. They make it up to a size 4. You really need to be careful about pinching it when it's at this temperature. So take it a little easy. I got a little tick mark right there, and I'm going to push my blow a little bit so I stay on that corner of that anvil. There you have an extended heel. Should be in line with the center of the shoe. So you want your shape roughed in kind of close. Pinched my fullering there, but that's all right. I can straighten that out a little bit. You got to be kind of careful about maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm kind of making a mess out of it. Going the wrong way with my fuller. Okay, we'll do the other side. Kind of screwed that fullering up. It would be plenty acceptable the way it is. I actually like the way it fixed the heel check, but hopefully this time I won't try fullering it with the fuller going the wrong direction. Kind of hard to make that corner crisp. You'd almost have to make a really short, narrow fuller to do that. Probably would have been better off leaving well enough alone. think I'll probably end up running these branches a little bit to gain just a little bit more length. Need to tuck that in a little bit, but you can see where that I like measuring it like this better than trying to lay a ruler on here. The ruler's kind of, you can't get it laid on the way you want. I'm right there with it. I think that, I'll bet that's pretty close to 1 inch, almost right at 1 inch, 15/16. So 7/8, which is great because I can clean things up. I'm going to lose a little bit of length. I'll be right at 15/16 or 7/8, and we want to be, that would be, if you're scoring at 1 through 10, that would be a 10, 7/8, right between 3/4 and 1 inch. So I'm going to take a light heat, work on this shape a little bit. I'll probably try to clean this fullering up just a little bit more. And we'll clean it up, take a look at it, and go from there. I need to pritchel those nail holes. Make sure. You could take a light heat. You could quench these heels off a little bit. I need to come in right here just a little bit.
So I'll patch it together.
Okay. You could take quench these heels off a little bit so that you could hit it up here and not damage your heel. I'm just gonna, but then it reacts a little, you know, on the horn. When you hit it, the whole shoe is gonna react. I prefer to hit it right in that corner, but I gotta be really careful about my hammer control. So I don't affect that shoe. Let's take a look at that, our fit. So it's a little bit hard to quantify center of stock on your fit when you're with these extended heels. But we're projecting, we want this to kind of project to center of stock, but that point is like right here. From here we're getting outside of the foot. We don't have, you know, where that foot is standing on that shoe, we want to be in the center of stock. So it doesn't really come out on these extended heels like it would with anything, but you can see how from here to here I have expansion, and that's what we're looking for. I did find a fuller I had made in one of the Roy Bloom shoes that I had made quite a bit narrower for one of those shoes, and that kind of helped clean this up. Okay, this is the finished product. I pritchled the nails and I ran the fullering, cleaned everything up, took it to my handy dandy grinder and polished it up. I go over it with the 36 grit belt, and then I go over it with a 120, and then I take a light heat on it, not enough to put any scale on it, and brush it real aggressively, and this is what you end up with. So we'll there. That's what we have for a fit. You can see our expansion here. In here, and we're like, that's 7/8, I believe. This side I could probably twist it just a hair and get them dead even. But I think that was set at, it's about 15/16, so 7/8 is about where we ended up. So, like I said, these are my little witness marks for my square toe. I would put them on the back side if I was presenting this to, they're kind of a little unsightly right here, but they're okay. Like I said, that's what we're going for. You want your heels to be parallel, your extended heels to be parallel with the center line of that foot. This one could be kicked out just a tick more, and this one here is pretty awful close. So that's what we're going for. Hopefully we'll see you in the Ozarks.